Good evening. We meet a world standing at the door with its hand outstretched, not for another argument, but for evidence. Look around. Fear has learned to speak many languages. It talks through markets and headlines, through a sleepless mind at 3 a.m. Fragmentation sits at the dinner table. Men and women try on identities the way a child tries on costumes. And yet the mirror refuses to say, that is you. The clamor is for proof that spirit is not a philosophy, that God is not a far-off city one must someday reach by limb and ladder. Do you see that? I have not come to offer you a postponement plan. There is no future tense in truth. When the psalmist sings, "The Lord is my shepherd," Psalm 23:1, he does not say, "will be after the rent is paid," or when the diagnosis improves. He anchors now. The spiritual life is not a promissory note. It is a present deposit, a balance available this instant. When recognition takes place quietly, secretly, not in spectacle, but in the sanctuary, within what we call healing, harmony, wholeness, is simply the form that recognition wears. You have not made something new. You have recognized what is. God is. God is. Is. I am. Do you see that? Here is the hook. And it is not candy on the end of a string. It is the ring on your finger. Heaven already named you. Wear it now. Not next Lent. Not after one more self-improvement plan. Thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Isaiah 62:2. Not the mouth of relatives, or the office, or the memory of what you did last summer. Heaven has spoken. The earth is simply slow to update its records. Delay is the illusion. The name is not in transit. The hearing is. And hearing begins when you stop telling God who you are and let God say, "I am that I am," Exodus 3:14, as you. You say, "But I am striving." I know. I also know the treadmill has an admirable sense of humor. It will let you run bravely for 40 years and deliver you to the same patch of carpet. You cannot walk to where you already are. The spiritual life is the discovery that the door was never locked. The key turns from within, and the door was you. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, 1 John 3:2. Now are we present, not pending. What then is proof? It is the felt shift from seeking to seeing, from trying to be loved to realizing. Love is being itself as you. There is not God and man, there is God as man. One life, one cause, one being. Glass appearing as tumbler, sun appearing as sunbeam. You don't warm the beam. You turn and notice the sun. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. So we begin with a question that will sit beside you like a faithful friend through this hour. What does it mean to receive your new name in this moment? Not to study it, not to laminate it and keep it in your wallet. Oh, that's convenient for discounts, but to wear it. It means to let the presence announce itself where you had been announcing yourself. It means to relax the fist of self-definition and listen until the click, yes, that inner click says, proceed. It means to treat this minute as the only minute on earth in which God is revealing God, and to stop asking tomorrow to deliver what only now can show. If the world is asking for proof, let us not hand it our good intentions wrapped in the paper of later. Let us stand still and know, not postpone, that I am is your name, appearing as your face, your voice, your walk through the street for bread. The Lord is my shepherd, present care, present guidance, present identity. We will go on line by line, but tonight begin here. Heaven already named you. Wear it now. Do you see that? Now let us hear the decree, not as history, but as the present voice that named you before you learned your own. For Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy God. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate. But thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah, for the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. Isaiah 62:1-4. Do you see that? This is not a civic rebrand, not a new sign at the city gate. This is the speech of heaven. The speech is pronouncing Christ as your identity now. Zion in the prophets is the holy height within the consciousness in which God is known. Jerusalem is the peace that flows as a byproduct of that knowing. When the text declares, thou shalt be called by a new name, it does not hand you a blank tag and a marker. It announces what has always been true of you behind the mask. Hephzibah, my delight is in her. Beulah, married. Hear the oneness in those names. Not God and an admirable human negotiating terms. God appearing as the individual, delighting in his own self-manifestation, wedded without seam, without gap. The substance is God, the form is you. Glass appearing as tumbler, sun appearing as sunbeam. Do you see that? You don't add light to the beam. You recognize the sun. You don't dress up a human. You witness the Christ you already are. Notice whose mouth names you, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Authority precedes effort. God names. Man does not self-craft. You can whittle 1,000 masks and still not touch your face. But one word from the I am, and the masks fall of their own weight. We have been very busy in our century with branding, haven't we? Personal brands, leadership brands. Oh, the designer's invoice will happily prove it. No, you don't need a designer logo. Though wouldn't that be nice? A gilded I am across the briefcase? It might sparkle, but it would still be the briefcase. The decree is not a font. It is an identity. And it is conferred, not constructed. A crown of glory in the hand of the Lord. That means what you are is held, upheld, sourced in the infinite. It does not say you will bring a crown to God when you have improved sufficiently. It says you are the crown God is holding now. There is no future tense in truth. Hephzibah is not a someday mood God might have toward you if you behave. It is the fixed delight of spirit, recognizing its own appearing. Beulah is not a wedding scheduled after spiritual graduate school. It is the marriage without beginning the life of God, married to the form of you, without otherness, without two-ness. God is. God is. Is. I am. Let that rhythm tell you what time it is. Now, what then do we do with such a decree? We do not try to make it come true. We stand still and let it be true where we are. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. If a thought rises to say, but I am forsaken, I am desolate, answer it with the decree, thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, not my wish, his word, not my self-esteem, his name, and if another voice chirps, after a few more improvements we'll revisit, listen to the prophet's urgency. I will not rest until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness. Heaven is not resting on this. Why should you postpone it? Some of you are asking, how do I hear it? You do as Isaiah did. You listen until the word catches fire. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence, even if at first it is a faint warmth behind the sternum. Time means nothing, 1 minute or 1,000. When the click comes, the word carries its own authority. It is not you declaring, God is announcing himself as you. Then the names attach themselves naturally. Hepzibah fastens where shame had been. Beulah weds what was divided. The mouth of the Lord names, and your work is to nod inwardly and say, Amen, so is it. Do you see that? This is not deferred possibility. This is present decree. Wear it now. Now we must face the most radical simplicity of the Spirit. There is no future tense in truth. Truth does not travel. It does not board a train and arrive with a suitcase of benefits. Truth is, the presence of God is not in transit. It is the ground under your feet and the breath in your lungs before you take it. Do you see that? The mind that bargains. When I learn a little more, when I am a little holier, when this condition changes, that mind is gently invited to sit down and be quiet. Not punished, quieted. Why? Because it keeps writing checks on tomorrow, and heaven only deals in now. I am that I am. Exodus 3:14. Not I will be, that I will be. The divine name is present tense being, self-sufficient, without a calendar, without your watch, without a delivery window. Before your problem spoke, I am. Before your plan began, I am. Before Abraham was, I am. John 8:58. The grammar is the gospel. Take the psalmist's word and hold it as practice, not poetry. The Lord is my shepherd. Psalm 23:1. Not was when my grandmother prayed, not will be after I clean up my act. The shepherding is present guidance, present provision, present correction, present rest. When you speak it, let the middle word ring like a bell. The Lord is my shepherd. Then let the bell keep ringing until the thought of later dissolves. God is, I am. Hear the cadence, not as a chant to force the door open, but as the sound of the door already open. This is the CTR of the soul, the click-through from concept to contact, urgency that steadies rather than agitates, not hurry, holy immediacy, not anxiety, assurance. Do you see that? If you believe truth must arrive, you will live like a man staring west for a train, while the sun already risen warms his back. Turn, that is all. The light is not approaching. You are turning. When a room is dark, we do not coax the sun from its bed. We lift the shade. The lifting is not the creation of light, but the surrender of obstruction. So it is with your life. We do not labor to pull God into our scene. We let the veil of human belief thin and vanish. And at that instant, what we call harmony shows up not as a stranger who finally found our address, but as the neighbor who had always been on the other side of a paper wall. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Recognize what is. Always remember as and is. Even your practice must bow to is sit quietly, yes. Read, yes. But notice the one mistake that undoes it all. Practicing for a result later. Sit until you feel the presence, not to make it come, but to stop running past it. Sit until the mind's agenda goes soft enough that being announces itself without trumpet or drum. There will be a gentle certitude, a simple okayness, sometimes a warmth, sometimes a silence with weight that says, now. That now is not a time, it is an unveiling. It requires no clock. Time means nothing here, because spirit has no birthdays, no deadlines, only isness. Let us agree together. We will not permit the suggestion of someday to narrate our inheritance. Heaven does not write IOUs. The Father says, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Luke 15:31, ever with all that I have. Now, spiritual reality exists only as present isness. Recognition now reveals what already is. So we declare, without strain, without theatrical faith, but with quiet fact, God is, God is. I am, the Lord is my shepherd. Now, do you see that? Now we must let the sharp edge of this truth do its kind work. Healing is not repair, it is revelation. Repair belongs to time, to parts, to techniques. Revelation belongs to is. The spiritual way does not take the old garment to the tailor and ask for a better fit. It lays the old garment aside and discovers you never were naked underneath, you were clothed all along with the garments of salvation. Isaiah 61:10. You see that? If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. It does not say patched up. It does not say improved model. It says new. New, because the mask of humanhood has dropped, not because a skilled mechanic found a better wrench. God is not running a celestial body shop. God is being God. And when God is recognized as the very substance of you, the appearance shifts to match the fact. You haven't seen a healing at all. You have witnessed the new creature, Christ. This is why the Master warns us about sewing a piece of new cloth on an old garment. Mark 2:21. Don't try to stitch spirit onto a self you insist on keeping. Don't try to be a patched-up personality. The beggar, when called by Jesus, casting away his garment, rose and came. Mark 10:50. That is the picture. The identity you wore for years, the hurt one, the guilty one, the striving one, let it fall as a costume falls to the floor after the play. You are not losing something real. You are ceasing to support an image. And when the image is not supported, it does what all images do. It fades. Now, watch what happens when revelation, not repair, is at work. The man does not convalesce. The man jumps. And he, leaping up, stood and walked. Acts 3-8. No therapy schedule is required to usher being into being. When life reveals itself as the life of that man, ankle bones do not need persuasion. They witness. When the withered hand is told, stretch forth, it stretches. Mark 3-5. There is no interval between is and its demonstration. Do you see that? The interval lives only in belief. When the mask drops, the face does not need time to reassemble. It is simply seen. Carry this inward. You have perhaps prayed for a nicer temperament, for an upgrade to the personality package, more patience, a little less fire at the traffic light. Why bargain for fruit when the root is offered? Don't try to reform humanhood. Let it be set aside, not by will, not by suppressing quirks, by recognition. Sit until the inner click assures you that the I am is present as you, and then notice how the old reactions cannot find their actor. The role is vacant because the Christ has stepped on stage. Now am I the Son of God. Say it not as bravado, but as description, not as flattery, but as fact. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, 1 John 3-2. If now we are, then now am I. This is the clean substitution of identity, not an edited draft of the old story. How will you know this is happening? You will stop measuring progress and start recognizing presence. You will stop asking for signs and begin witnessing what is without surprise. There is a simplicity to it that almost offends the industrious mind. No pep talk, no spiritual calisthenics, only the soft unveiling that says, as I live, this is you. And then forms arrange themselves around that recognition the way iron filings arrange around a magnet. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. God appearing as you now, and God is. God is, I am. The old garment on the floor, the new creature walking out the door, without effort, without parade, with quiet authority. Do you see that? Now we take up the as secret. It is the hinge on which the door of identity swings open. Not God and man, God as man. The Master did not say, "My Father and I are good partners." He said, "I and my Father are one," John 10:30. And I am going to risk the wrath of the grammar teachers for your sake and put it this way. I and the Father is one. Forgive the scholars, but hear the truth. One substance, one life, one being, one cause, diversities of form only. Do you see that? Oneness is not a contract, it is nature. It is not signed, it is what is. Think of a glass appearing as a tumbler. What is the tumbler? Glass. The substance is single, the form is particular. You can have a goblet, a window pane, a bottle, and still never depart from glass. You don't ask the tumbler to contribute some of its own essence to help the glass be glassy. The glassness is the being, the tumbler is the showing. So with you, the substance is God, the form is you. Here is God made manifest as individual. Great is the mystery of godliness. God was manifest in the flesh, 1 Timothy 3:16. Not God borrowing a body, not spirit renting a room in matter, God appearing as you, glass appearing as tumbler. The very intelligence that causes a star to burn is the intelligence that signs your name. The love that holds worlds in poise is the love that looks out of your eyes. Do you see that? Or take the sun and its sunbeam. The beam does not peel off at 9 a.m. to have an independent career. It is the sun in expression. Withdraw the sun and the beam disappears. Dim the window and the beam seems to fade, though the sun remains what it ever is. Your discouragement, your dullness, your sense of separation, those are a film on the window, not a vacancy in the sun. We do not repair the beam, we lift the shade. Then you say, not with effort, but with recognition. As the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself. John 5:26. The life you call yours is not a private battery. It is the one life beaming. The light you call yours is God-light. The mind you call yours is the mind which was also in Christ Jesus, showing forth as the thought you think in this moment. Do you see that? This is the identity shift. You cease imagining a noble human trying to get to God, and you witness God being God as you, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Colossians 1:27. Not visiting, not renting, in you, as you, in him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28. Not around him, not near him, in him. And in the same breath, he lives and moves as you. That is why we dare to speak so plainly. God is appearing as Jesus, as Joel, as Mary. One substance wearing many names, the way the ocean wears many waves. The wave is not other than ocean. It is ocean waving. You are not other than God. You are God expressing. Do you see that? This does not inflate a person. It dissolves a person in presence and leaves the Christ where the person claimed to be. What then does practice look like under this as secret? Not carrying God like a backpack into situations, not summoning a distant power, but pausing until the inner click certifies, here is God as this I. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Hear it inwardly as, be still and know that I as you am God. Then move not to perform, but to witness. The authority is not of a human trying hard. It is the effortless rightness of substance being itself through form. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. God is you, and God is. God is. I am. And in that rhythm, duality cannot endure. The belief in two powers begins to evaporate. The fear that I must hold it all together has no actor left on stage. There is only one life, one cause, one being, showing forth as the particular grace that carries your name. Do you see that? Now we come to the is secret, the way of living from finished reality. If as tells you what you are, God appearing as you is tells you when it is now. Reduce your entire practice to two beats. God is, I am, not tomorrow. Not when conditions cooperate. Is let the mind be relieved. It does not have to build a bridge to heaven. Heaven is the ground under your feet, the life in your lung, the light behind your eyes, present, self-sustaining, complete. Do you see that? Hear the Master in John 6 and listen as if for the first time. I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. John 6:35. Not, I will be bread when you improve. I am the bread. Present nourishment is not rationed like wartime coupons. It is the endless loaf of being, feeding itself as your very being. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life. John 6:27. The meat that endures is isness, realized, Christ recognized as identity. To practice is not to bake bread for later. It is to eat now by recognition. The hunger ends in the instant you stop looking at the pantry of appearances and taste the I am that is your life. Do you see that? How, then, do we practice? Simply, pragmatically, without strain, sit a moment and breathe the truth. On the in-breath, the Lord. On the out-breath is. Then be quiet. Let is end the sentence of worry. Let is be the period that ends the paragraph of argument. Do not hurry to add adjectives, good Lord, kind Lord, mighty Lord. He does not need your catalog. He needs your stillness. Rest at is until the inner click says proceed. If is paid royalties, we could all go to the movies. But the wealth it brings is not ticket money. It is the peace that passes understanding because it is not gained, it is recognized. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Abide in is now a prohibition for your good. When appearances bark, do not throw a stick, don't argue, don't fix, don't plead. Abide. This is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. John 6:29. Believe is not mental gymnastics. It is consent to the finished. It is finished. John 19:30. Not finished in history, only finished as principle, finished as the fact of being here and now. You are not trying to produce harmony. You are allowing harmony to be seen. Recognition, not effort, reveals harmony. Do you see that? You will notice a small temptation to decorate your practice. Resist it. When fear whispers its clever what-ifs, answer with a single bass note. God is. Then stop. Don't add therefore the rent will or therefore the pain must. That is argument. We are finished with arguments. Let is stand, and let it stand long enough that the mind's appetite for managing dissolves. The Lord is my shepherd. Psalm 23:1. Say it once, and then let the shepherd shepherd. The sheep do not draw up a plan. They follow a presence. Sit until the felt assurance appears, sometimes like a soft weight in the chest, sometimes like a pure quiet that makes words seem too noisy. That is the click. Only then move. And as you move, let the rhythm keep cadence inside. God is, I am. The bread is now, the guidance is now, the life is now. If a cloud of appearance drifts across your sky, remember, the sun did not go out. A thought passed before your window. We do not fight clouds. We notice light. We do not enforce harmony. We observe it. We do not reach for tomorrow. We yield to now. Breathe. The Lord is. Then be silent and let truth be what it already is. Do you see that? Abide in the finished is. Recognition, not effort, reveals harmony. Now, let us establish the one permission that governs all doing. Have that click before you move. Sit in meditation until you feel that presence, not as an idea you admire, but as the felt fact that settles you from crown to soul. Emmanuel, God with us, must not be a motto on the wall. It must be the atmosphere in which you breathe. You are not asked to produce it. You are asked to be still long enough to notice it. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Do you see that? The stillness is not your gift to God. It is your consent to be found by what already is. Time means nothing here. 5 minutes or 5 years, stay until the inner yes appears. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. Not in hurry, not in calculation. You do not watch the clock. You watch for the weightless certainty that makes movement natural. If the mind starts its arithmetic, I have appointments, surely God understands. Smile and sit again. The kingdom will not wilt while you yield 2 more breaths to reality. We are not managing a schedule. We are abiding in is. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. Here is the warning, tender but absolute. No man can do these miracles that thou doest, except God be with him. John 3:2. Except God be with him, he cannot do these works. Do not perform without presence. Do not counsel. Do not heal. Do not decide. Do not preach without the click. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Psalm 127:1. Vain labor is expensive. Presence is effortless. Which do you prefer? Do you see that? The Master himself withdrew into the wilderness and prayed. Luke 5:16. If the Son does not presume to act without the Father felt, what are we doing rushing in with good intentions? What does the click feel like? It is not fireworks. It is a quiet joy that does not lean on a reason. It is a sense of okayness that requires no proof. Sometimes it is a warmth spreading like dawn inside the chest. Sometimes it is a clarity that makes words seem unnecessary. Sometimes it is the feeling that breath is breathing you. The room becomes friendly. The problem loses its title. You are not brave. You are at rest. Strain evaporates. There is a weight to the silence, as if the air took on substance, and yet you feel light. When that is present, the act is authorized, not by you, by is. Set this boundary and keep it gentle. If you've lost the click, pause the ministry, close the lips, open the heart, turn off the bright ideas, turn toward the presence. If you are halfway through the letter and the click thins, stop mid-sentence. If the phone rings and there is no inward yes, let it ring once more while you breathe, the Lord is. If you are at the bedside and your sympathy begins to talk louder than spirit, excuse yourself to the hallway and be still. Serious students, take this to heart. The courage to stop is part of the authority to start. Do you see that? Here is a simple protocol. Before each act, email, meeting, diagnosis, sermon, touch the inner altar. 10 seconds, 10 minutes, 10 days. Time means nothing. Whisper, God is, and listen. If the click arrives, a soft certainty, a quiet joy proceed. but proceed as witness, not worker. If the click does not arrive, do not panic. Do not manufacture it. Wait. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Isaiah 40-31. Waiting is not delay. It is alignment. The moment the presence is realized, the work is already accomplished in principle. Your movement merely reveals it. You will find, to your surprise, that waiting saves time. Effort consumes. Presence provides. Action without the click produces more actions to repair its child. Action with the click carries its own completion. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Exodus 14:13. Then when the seeing is clear, step and you will discover the sea already parted while you were looking. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Have that click. So let the rhythm keep house within you. God is, I am. Your permission to proceed is not emotion. It is Emmanuel realized. Only the realized presence authorizes the act. This is safety. This is efficiency. This is grace. Do you see that? Now let us let the doing stop and the being speak. Be very still where you are. Breathe once. And on the in-breath, let the words form without effort. The Lord. On the out-breath, is. Again. The Lord is. Then let the rhythm continue by itself. God is, is. I am. We are not making something happen. We are letting what is be noticed. Time means nothing here. 1 breath or 10,000. Presence does not measure. Do you see that? While the heart is quiet, hear the decree, not as ink on a page, but as the present voice within you. Thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Isaiah 62:2. Hear it again, but hear it as said to you right now, in this breath. The naming is not a wish. It is a word that carries its own weight. It does not float above you. It rests in you like a seal. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, for the Lord delighteth in thee. Isaiah 62:4. Do you see that? The mouth that names is the I am, and I am has no future tense. Now, do not reach for a name with the mind. Wait, let one word rise from the stillness, and when it rises, do not question its simplicity. Perhaps it is beloved, perhaps it is Christed. Perhaps it is peace. Perhaps it is a word you have not used for years. Joy, sun, bride, light. Perhaps it is one of Isaiah's Hephzibah or Beulah. Let it come the way a bird comes to an open hand, by trust, not by trapping. When the word alights, consent to it. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Let the name wear you as naturally as the sun wears its beam. Always remember as and is. This is not a label stuck on a human. This is God appearing as you, naming himself in his own form. Now we speak from the center and not from the edges. Beloved, now are we the sons of God. 1 John 3:2. Say it as your own. Now am I the son of God. Now am I about my Father's business. Luke 2:49. Not later, not after repairs, not when conditions blink green now. Put it on the inward way, Paul instructed. Put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ. Romans 13:14. Wear the name as a garment of praise in place of the spirit of heaviness. Feel it rest upon the shoulders of your heart. If the mind objects, let it object like wind rattling a window while the house remains steady. The name is steadier than the rattle. The shepherd is nearer than the bleat. Now seal it. Let the new name sit in the chest like a signet ring pressed in wax. Whisper it once more with the mantra that carries us home. God is, is. I am beloved. I am Christed. I am peace. And smile, because there will be no certificates printed. Your heart knows. There is no registrar's office in heaven. No one will mail you a card to keep in your wallet. If you must have stationery, write it on your breath. If you must have a badge, let your quiet eyes carry it. Won't that be nice? No paperwork to file, only presence to recognize. Some of you will feel a soft warmth spread. Some will feel a holy stillness with a little weight to it. Some will feel nothing at all, and yet will know they are not quite the same as they were 5 minutes ago. That is enough. Do you see that? The authority of the name is not in sensation, but in isness. Wear it into the next breath, into the next glance you give a stranger, into the next decision you do not rush. To him that overcometh, I will give a new name written. Revelation 2:17. Overcome what? The habit of tomorrow. And how? By consenting to now. So we rise without rising and go nowhere but deeper into here, wearing what heaven spoke. Let the world call you what it will. You answer to what the mouth of the Lord has named. God is. God is. Is. I am. And the name lives you. Do you see that? After the name, we do not strut, we settle. The fruit of naming is a calm authority, no swagger, no apology. He taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. Matthew 7:29. The difference is not volume, it is source. The scribe argues from ideas. The Christ speaks from his. When the new name rests in you, you discover that tone, steady, unhurried, without edge. There is no fist in it. It has nothing to prove and nothing to defend. It simply is. Do you see that? Now comes the behavioral shift. You are no longer the fixer at large, roaming the countryside with tools jingling at the belt. You answer as peace. Peace be still, Mark 4:39, was not a contest with wind. It was a revelation of what was true in the presence. So when the phone rings with storm, you do not rush to tie down the furniture of appearances. You return to the center where the sea is glass. The urgency is not to wrestle matter. The urgency is to recognize God as this. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember, as and is. God as you is the authority. God is as the atmosphere. Stand there, witness, let the new creature appear. Do you see that? If you feel the old adrenaline knock at the door, quick, say something strong, do something big, smile at your well-meaning usher and seat him in the back row. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Zechariah 4:6. Might strains, spirit reveals, power clutches, presence rests. The Son can do nothing of himself but what he seeth the Father do. John 5:19. That is your model. See the Father being himself as this scene, then speak if speech is given, move if movement is given. If you need a cape, make it invisible. We are not putting on a show. We are letting God show. Authority without aggression looks like this. The voice is softer, and yet the words land. Decisions are fewer, and yet the path clears. You say less, but the little you say carries. Let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, Matthew 5:37. There is no sermonizing at the hospital bed. There is a hand, there is silence with weight in it, there is the click and the atmosphere changes. There is no moralizing at the table. There is a look that remembers who sits there, and the temperature of the room drops to peace. You are not managing outcomes. You are wearing a name and letting the name act as you. This is crucial. Do not manufacture results to justify your faith. Manufacturing is fear in a tuxedo. Recognition is love at home. If a door opens, walk through. If a door rests, lean not. The proof is never in your pressure, it is in your presence. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Psalm 127:1. Vain labor wears you out and asks for applause. Realized identity builds without strain and forgets to take credit. Do you see that? Take it to the ordinary. A heated email arrives. You do not answer the heat. You breathe, the Lord is, feel the click, and reply as peace. A child's fever spikes. You do not pace the hall rehearsing worries. You sit, you recognize, you let the new name you wear stand in the room, and sometimes without a word, the room answers back with ease. A contract teeters. You do not call 10 more people. You get still until you know the one. Life governs commerce as surely as cosmos, and then you take the one step shown. Authority flows from identity recognized, not force applied. Keep the rhythm close. God is. God is. Is. I am. Not to hypnotize, but to stabilize. If the old habit of urgency starts its drum, let the mantra be the quiet metronome that returns you to tempo. You are not slow, you are sure. You are not passive, you are yielded. And in that yielding, the yoke proves easy, the burden light, Matthew 11:30. The name acts as you, the Christ does the works. Do you see that? Now let us braid the witnesses so there is one cord you can hold in any weather. Nicodemus comes by night with a scholar's respect and a human program. Teach me the steps, give me the ladder. And the master arrests his curriculum with present birth. Except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. John 3:3. See, not eventually find, see. New birth is not a life cycle improvement plan. It is the light by which you see now. That which is born of the Spirit is spirit, John 3:6. Spirit does not convalesce into spirit. Spirit is, marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again, John 3:7. If Nicodemus had asked for a syllabus, week 1, repentance. Week 2, extra credit. Jesus gives him wind. The wind bloweth where it listeth, so is every one that is born of the Spirit, John 3:8. The sound is now, the movement is now, the birth is now. Do you see that? There is no future tense in truth. And this same Christ who will not put birth on layaway refuses to put food in storage. I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, John 6:35. Not, I will be bread when you reach a certain level. I am the bread, present nourishment, eaten by recognition, not hoarded by anxiety. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, John 6:27. Do not labor to gather arguments and save them in the pantry of memory. Eat presents fresh. Israel learned it in the wilderness when hoarded manna turned to worms. Give us this day our daily bread was never meant as next Thursday's grocery list. Eat now, live now. Recognition, not effort, feeds. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Take, eat, this is. Do you see that? Then the psalmist sings what your breath knows already. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1. Grammar, as revelation, is. Want dissolves in, is, not in accumulation. He maketh me lie down now. He leadeth me beside still waters now. He restoreth my soul now. Not he will, when I deserve. He is, because he is. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I do not schedule courage for later. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, Psalm 23:4. With me is not a feeling you chase, it is the presence you consent to notice. Sit until that click appears and watch how lack evaporates without a lecture. The shepherd shepherds when is allowed to be is. And where does this rhythm take its authority? From the name itself. Moses, trembling before an assignment larger than his resume, asks for identification, and the holy does not hand him a title, it hands him a verb. I am that I am, thus shalt thou say, I am hath sent me. Exodus 3:14. The grammar of God endorses present identity. I am does not become. I am is. When Isaiah declares, thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Isaiah 62:2. Hear the speaker. The I am names from the everlasting now. Therefore, the name arrives as now. You are not applying for this identity. You are recognizing it. The texts are not scattered trees. They are one root breaking the surface in many places. Present birth, present bread, present shepherd, present name. Do you see that? So when you feel the old habit to postpone grace after this project, after this apology, after this diagnosis clears, catch it gently and return to the song. Be born again now. Drop the mask and look through Spirit's eyes. Eat now. Taste I am as your sufficiency in this breath. Be led now. The Lord is my shepherd, and this minute finds its pasture. Wear the name now. Let what the mouth of the Lord has spoken sit as your identity before you take one more step. God is. God is. Is. I am. Not as a charm, but as the one melody Scripture sings when you listen with the inner ear. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. Do you see that? Now let us turn and face what seems to stand in our way, the look of things, appearances. They have volume. They have headlines. They even have x-rays. But listen closely. The illusion is not out there on the mountain. It is in the lens that looks. The mountain is there. The cloud that seems to sit on it is in your seeing. Do you see that? You have ridden streetcars and watched the tracks meet on the horizon. They look as if they converge and kiss. They never do. The convergence is in the eye, not in the steel. If you drove a crew out there with tools to pry the rails apart, the rails would laugh at you. The adjustment belongs in the seeing. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. John 7:24. Righteous judgment is the sight of Christ present as what is. This is why we do not go to war with conditions. We do not fix the meeting tracks. We cease believing the mirage. And then, what of the harsh pictures, the broken body in the bed, the shattered life in the chair, the bank account that reads like a desert? We do not sentimentalize them, and we do not fight them. We behold. We sit until the click certifies presence, and we witness a fact older than the X-ray. God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. Genesis 1:31. In that beholding, you have not repaired a hip. You have witnessed the new creature Christ, where a damaged creature seemed to be. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Behold, not argue, not strain. Behold. Do you see that? What happens in that beholding? The picture changes because the seeing changed. Not because you applied power to matter, but because you withdrew belief from a picture. You haven't seen a healing at all. You have witnessed the new creature, Christ, and the old, with its history and evidence and expert testimony, set aside as last season's playbill. The stage was never the story. The actor was never the self. The Christ steps forward, and what needs mending has no claimant. This is not magic. This is sight. So take this as your self-audit and make it tender. Sit down and overhaul your thoughts, not to comb them into better behavior, not to iron their wrinkles, but to notice that none of them require correction. They require recognition. Recognition of what? Of the mind that thinks as you, of the life that lives as you, of the love that loves as you. When the original is recognized, the copies stop clamoring for edits. We look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, 2 Corinthians 4:18. That is not an instruction to ignore your world. It is permission to see through it. The seen is temporal, the unseen eternal. Do you see that? If illusion were out there, we would need metaphysical street sweepers to tidy up the neighborhood every dawn. Oh, wouldn't that be a payroll? But the sweep belongs within. A shift in awareness costs no overtime and clears whole streets at once. You do not battle shadows on the wall. You turn and find the lamp. You do not wrestle wind. You say peace and discover there is only one atmosphere, spirit, and it is already still. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. God as you is the substance. God is the certainty. Stay there. Endurance, beloved. Endurance. Sometimes the picture shouts as if to frighten children. It will parade its facts. It will stamp its feet. Sit. Be still. Have that click. If it delays, wait. Time means nothing. If it returns, wait again. Time means nothing. Never give up. Never give up. The shepherd does not put his staff down because the fog is persistent. He leadeth now. He restoreth now. Let is be your patience. Let as be your confidence. And then, as you walk into the same room that yesterday frightened you, discover that the room has changed because the seer has changed. The tracks no longer meet. The cloud is not on the mountain. The body that was a problem is a temple not made with hands. The life that was in shards speaks with one voice. You did not fix what was wrong. You recognized what is right. God is. God is. Is. I am. Repeat it once, like a bell that calls the town to center, and watch how the market quiets and the children laugh again. Appearances are images in thought. Recognition of Christ dissolves them without battle. Do you see that? Let us make this very simple, very present, and very doable. Treat this minute as the only minute on earth. If you will walk 1 minute rightly, the next will not argue. Morning first, before you consult a screen, before you consult a calendar, consult the I am. Sit on the edge of the bed or in your quiet chair and give 3 minutes to is. Not as a bargain, as a beginning. Whisper with your breath, the Lord is. God is. God is. Is. I am. No petition, no program, just is. Sit until the click appears. Perhaps it lands in the first 30 seconds, perhaps near the end. If it does not, do not scold the clock. Give one more quiet breath to presence and go on about your day, carrying the mantra like a small flame in your pocket. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118-24. This minute is his making. Rejoice in is. Do you see that? Midday is where the old habits try their auditions. A tone in an email pricks you. A face in traffic cuts you off. A memory leans in with an old script. Do not wrestle. Rename yourself silently. Return to the new name heaven spoke, beloved, Christed, peace, light, whatever the mouth of the Lord sealed in you. Say inside, I am beloved, I am peace, I am Christ. Let the name shift the atmosphere before your fingers type, before your mouth opens. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips, Psalm 141-3. The watch is the name, and if the reactivity asks for a duel, smile and sit inwardly. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. Do you see that? Now, crisis. When the appearance shouts, symptoms flare, numbers fall, headlines howl, prohibit fixing. This is law in this house. You are forbidden to fix. You are authorized to witness. Sit until the click stands you up from within. Declare nothing outward until within you have rested in one power, one law, one cause. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Not two powers wrestling, one power revealing. Not two laws arguing, one law unfolding. Not many causes colliding. One cause being itself as this very scene. When the click comes, you will often find that less is required than you thought. Sometimes nothing is required but the silence that carries weight. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Exodus 14:13. See? And then move if movement is given. Do you see that? In service counseling, teaching, parenting, leading, make one rule and keep it with love. Only speak or act when presence is felt. Otherwise, be still. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Psalm 19:14. Acceptable means Emmanuel realized. If the click is thin, postpone the brilliant answer and give the quiet look. If the click swells, speak little and let the word carry itself. The harvest is not your project, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Zechariah 4-6. Do you see that? Now, community, the walking among others. They will bring you their names, anxious, broke, sick, offended. You do not argue their cards. You do not stamp them. You address them by the name heaven uses. In your heart, without display, beloved, whole, free, son, daughter, peace. You are not flattering. You are recognizing. And recognition is the only kindness that never humiliates. When you look at them through that name, your tone changes, your timing softens, your listening deepens. Sometimes you will speak the word softly, peace to you, and sometimes you will say nothing at all, but the recognition will do its quiet work. Henceforth know we no man after the flesh, 2 Corinthians 5:16. After the name, yes. After the flesh, no. Do you see that? Make small bells through the day, on the hour, or when you touch a doorknob, or when you sit down to eat. Let the mantra ring once. God is. God is. Is. I am. Not as superstition, as centering. Pray without ceasing, 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Does not mean a life of mutterings. It means a life established in is. Treat each task as if this minute were the only minute, and do not drag yesterday's failure or tomorrow's fear into it. If you lose the thread, begin again. Beginners have all the advantages. Time means nothing. Never give up. Never give up. And when evening comes, lay the day down the way you picked it up. In is. Review nothing to repair, only to recognize. Where the name led, be grateful. Where you hurried, forgive and start over now, before sleep, so that night carries the right song. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Psalm 4-8. Safety is. So the protocol is not a burden. It is a way of walking light. Practice is wait for presence and meet all with the new name. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Always remember as and is. God is. God is. Is. I am. Do you see that? Now we seal it and we send you not away from here, but deeper into here. Hear again the decree and hear it as your breath says it inside you. Thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Isaiah 62:2. Not will be, shalt be, spoken from the everlasting, now of I am. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, for the Lord delighteth in thee. Isaiah 62:4. Wear it now. The naming is not a future ceremony. It is the present identity of Christ as you. Do you see that? So go, but go in the steady gladness of one life, one law, one cause. Treat today as the only day on earth. There is no future tense in truth. The shepherd is not waiting down the road with directions. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1 is now. Let the new name answer the door, answer the email, answer the worry that has learned your old voice. When the thought arises, what should I do? And I return to the grammar that saves. I am does, I am is, I am appears as, now are we the sons of God. 1 John 3:2. Say it quietly and walk on. If the click fades at noon, pause. If it fades at the crosswalk, pause. If it fades in the doctor's office or at the kitchen sink, pause. Time means nothing. 1 breath, 3 breaths, 10 minutes. Presence does not check your watch. Breathe. The Lord is, God is. God is. Is. I am. Don't try to do something. Don't try to change something. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. The stillness is not passivity. It is permission for the name to act as you. When appearances call for contest, refuse enlistment. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Zechariah 4:6. Might performs, spirit reveals, power grasps, presence governs. The commission you carry is as old as the bush that burned and was not consumed. I am that I am. I am hath sent me. Exodus 3:14. Let I am be your credential. Let Emmanuel be your authorization. Speak little, see much. Recognize always. And as recognition settles, the atmosphere answers, you haven't repaired a human. You have witnessed the new creature, Christ. Do you see that? And if this week brings fog, do not measure days by clarity or clouds. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Psalm 121:4. Keep your place. Keep your name. Keep your mantra. If the old habit of postponement whispers, tomorrow I will be spiritual, smile and answer, now I live, now I see, now I am. If you stumble, begin again on the spot. Beginners have all the advantages. Never give up, never give up. The yoke remains easy because you are not dragging yesterday or hauling tomorrow. You are consenting to is. Go, then, with the quiet authority of the named. Let the world be busy, you be true. Let others report their weather, you abide in climate, the kingdom within. I will write upon him my new name, Revelation 3:12. It is written, it is worn, it is you, and if anyone asks, yes, you are royalty crowned already. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem. Isaiah 62:3. Won't that be nice? No procession required, just a life that moves without hurry because it moves as God. So the seal is this, and the sending is this. God is, I am. Take it into the street, into the store, into the meeting, into the mirror. Take it into the place you feared and watch fear forget its lines. Take it when you wake and when you lie down, when you speak and when silence says more. There is no future tense in truth. There is only the holy now and the name that lives it. God is. God is. Is. I am. Do you see that? Go in peace and never give up. Never give up.